What's up guys, Card Protagonist here, and today I will be doing a deck profile on the Divine Guardians deck featuring Guru's Tanuki. But where's Tanuki? Yes, you're looking at him. Turns out that Tanuki's true form is a badass dragon of heaven and hell. I mean, look at that artwork. He is final boss material, and also its ability is incredibly strong. Alright, before we begin, let me explain how the Divine Guardian deck works. You can only play cards with the Divine Guardians and generic attribute, so it's pretty similar to Thunder Emperors. You start with 6 hand size, 1 gauge and 12 life, so you sacrifice a bit of gauge for more life. So it's kinda the opposite of the Executioners where they only have 8 life and 3 gauges. The deck revolves around playing with an empty drop zone by using the main set spell of the deck, Gate of Pardon, and other cards in the deck, which allows you to send cards from your drop zone back into your deck for extra effects. So what does Gate of Pardon do? Gate of Pardon allows you to search out any monster you need from your deck. It is an incredibly powerful spell that allows you to fetch any monsters you need for an incredible combo. So let us get started with the deck profile. The buddy I play is 4 copies of Hell and Heaven Dragon. So core costs 1 gauge and 1 life. Put the top card into the soul. It is a rather tanky unit, so I usually call him to the center to protect my life points. So why is he good? So his ability is when a guardian on your field attacks, return up to 1 monster from the field to the hand and deal damage to your opponents. And his second ability is when an executioner card attacks, destroy up to 1 monster on the field and heal 1 life. The key thing about this effect is, you must remember that most of the cards in the deck I play is the dual Partial Knights or Partial Beast deck. So basically most of the monster I play is the Guru style deck, which means they have both the Guardians and the Execution attribute. So amazingly, this card is fantastic because when they attack, you will be able to activate both the effects, which is amazing. Alright, so think about it. When this guy attacks, you can bounce back one of opponent's monsters back to their hand and destroy 1 card on their field, gain 1 life and deal 1 damage to your opponents. So the key of this deck is actually to summon monsters which does multiple attacks, get so much pluses and deal a lot of damage to your opponents. So this is actually one of the key things that I realized from this card. You do not only gain the ability when you're using a Guardian, but you gain abilities when you based on the attribute of the cards attacking. So cards like these give you both the benefits of a single attack, and most importantly, this effect is not once per turn. So if you combo real well, you will be able to easily do 14 damage without any impacts with this deck. So right here I have a sample combo for you guys to see. His ability is as long as any of these monsters attack, you will be able to deal 1 damage to your opponent and heal 1 life. The only monsters that's not Heaven and Hell here is the Cosmo Dragon monsters, but also nonetheless he will be able to deal 1 damage when he attacks. So here's the combo. I rest this item, give this guy double attack. So right now he has double attack ability. Alright, so usually I'll attack with him first because he has the penetrate ability, so they can break down any walls and deal some penetrate damage to opponents. Attack. When he attacks, you can deal 1 damage, heal 1 life, bounce back a monster, and destroy 1 card. This is really good against chaos such as auto deities because you can bounce back and wreck their whole field with this combo. So that's 2 damage and deal 3 damage. He has double attack restand. Another 2 damage and deal 1 damage, so that's 6 damage. Attack with Bumuku. 1 damage, burn damage, so it's 8 damage. This card attacks. Even though this guy is not an executioner monster, you can still deal the 1 extra damage, so it's 11 damage. Now you activate this guy's effect, which is send him to the bottom of the deck and resend a unit on the field. Resend him. So attack 1 more time, there's 3 more damage. So think about it, that is 14 damage just like this. It's a really simple combo, and since we're playing the Guardian Gate, you'll be able to search out all these combo pieces really easily. So this combo is really easy to pull off, and also there are many ways to play this deck, so this is a really awesome deck and you guys should really try it. Most of the sides on we play is either double attackers or allow him to resend. So doing multiple attacks allows you to stack up more burn damage, making OTKs a possibility. Alright, next up we play 4 copies of Giant Tanuki, his baby form. I won't say it's a baby form, it's pretty much his SD form. This guy still works really well in the deck. Basically the combo of the card is similar to his dragon form. You stack up crits with many of the other monsters, and then you swing with this guy with Decane, which gives it double attack. So its ability is core cost, put the top card of the deck into this card and pay 1 gauge. So also I'll put it in center because it's really tanky and can help protect my life points. When other cards on the field attacks, put the top card of the deck into a gauge. So you charge 1 gauge, and this guy gains extra 1 crit. It's not once per turn. So similar to Hell and Heaven Dragon, working together with other units on the field, allowing to gain massive power, it's really good. So his second ability is when this card attacks, you gain 1 life, and you have 50 or more cards in the drop zone, which is not applicable because this deck really sends everything back to the deck most of the time. All other cards on the field gains just 1 critical. So this is more for if you're using the Executioner decks. So for now we are using Guardian decks, so it's not applicable. And he has Penetrate, so similar to Hell Dragon, you'll be able to poke the center and break through walls. So generally, it's a really good card because it is very similar to the Dragon form. So right now we go through the Giant Tanuki combo, similar to the Dragon form, instead we use the Tanuki form. So same few setup and you'll be still dealing massive damage. So let's get started. You rest this guy, give Mega Tanuki the double attack skill, attack him, 1 critical but give Tanuki becomes 3 crit, 1 damage. Use this guy to attack, give Tanuki 1 crit, so that's 2 damage, 3 damage, total of 3 damage, and Tanuki is a 4 crit monster. So Tanuki has double attack, 4 crit, 4 crit, so it's 8 plus 2 plus 1, 11. And right now we activate his skill, go back to the bottom of the deck, resend Tanuki, 11 plus another 4 crit. That's 15 crit in one single attack. That's not all. If your opponent were to survive that, don't forget that whenever your other monsters attack, you can also charge gauge. So you can charge 1, 2 gauge, and you can always use your impact to finish your opponents off. Because this impact is pay 2 gauge and deal damage base equals to 1 of your crit on the field. So this guy will gain up to 5 crits, and you just deal a 5 damage impact with this. Both are excellent choices for combos, so pick whichever you want. Personally, whichever I get, I'm really happy because you can still dish out huge damage to your opponents. So for the size 1, I play 4 copies of Impartial Beast Guardias. He has both Executioner and Guardian skills, so if you attack with him, you can gain lifesteal and deal damage to your opponents. So really powerful card. Because he has the double attacks, which means you can stack up with Mega Tanuki. Each time he attacks, Tanuki gets extra crit. You can double attack, instantly becomes 4 crit. And if you're using the Dragon form, you can gain 2 life and deal 2 damage to your opponent. So it's a really powerful card in deck because you get 5k attack power to run through most of the stuff in the game. Getting multi-attacks in this deck just gives you so much pluses. So I play 4 copies of him. So next up, 4 copies of Star Ocean Envoy. He's from the later set X-CBT. Right, so what he does is he's a Cosmo Dragoon that has a counter ability and 2 crit. During your attack phase, choose a Cosmo Dragoon or Guardians on your field other than this card. You may put this card into the bottom or top of your deck. If you do, resend the chosen card and you gain 1 life. So not only you will be able to restand, you get 1 life and he's able to attack. So it's kind of like the Ancient World monster which gives you the resending ability, but he's on a field form. So he goes really well with the deck with Tanuki and the Dragon because of extra attack. So yeah, 4 copies of him because he just gives you double attack to any of the monsters or items on the field, and it's fantastic overall. So finally we play the man himself, Guru Bumbuku. He may seem like a really lame card, but he is really important in the deck because first off, he's a size 0. The center formation of the field is the size 2, size 1 and size 0 on the field. This way you'll be able to maximize your attack and gain so much benefit from its burn ability. Right, so what Bumbuku does is he has a counter skill. Sometimes if I do have multiple copies of him in the hand, he's alright because you'll be able to use him to protect your life points or your monsters. Counter ability, choose a monster on your field. You may discard this card and pay 1 gauge. If you do, for instance, that chosen card gives us 3k power, 3k defense and 1 critical. So come to think about it, it's kind of like a Dragonic energy, but it lasts for the rest of the turn. So the best thing is you have multiple copies of him, you can stack up your Hell Dragon into a really tanky 9k defense. Sometimes if I have Hell Dragon center and I have this in my hand, my opponent attacks him, I just use Bumbuku, discard 1, increase defense to 6k. Opponent isn't able to beat through, and you basically protect my life 1 time. So yep, it's a really versatile unit. Can be used from the hand as a hand spell, or can be used as a monster to poke for extra damage. For the spell, I play 3 copies of Gate of Pardon. Gate of Pardon, so you can only set 1. He has 2 abilities. The first ability is put up to 3 cards from your drop zone to the bottom of the deck. If you do, you can gain 1 life. So if you do not have a monster on your field and have no cards in your drop zone, you may put a card from your hand into the bottom of the deck. If you do, cop to 1 Guardian monster from your deck by paying its core cost and shuffle the deck. You may only activate its skill once per turn. So this ability basically allows you to fetch any monster you need for the combo. So let's say if you have this in your hand, you can always search out your either your Bumbukus or your Star Envoy. The Gate engine is just really powerful and used in many other decks other than this deck. Next up is 4 copies of Heaven's Gift. Heaven's Gift allows you to either search out your set spell, or if you have the set spell already on the field, you can use the second ability, put all cards from your drop zone into the bottom of the deck. So really good because it instantly allows you to fulfill its condition. Put this card to the gauge. So basically it's charge and draw. Really good because it won't become dead if you actually have the set spell already. Next is 4 copies of Sky Dragon Divinity, draw engine for the deck. One of the best draw engine, especially for this deck. Since you always have a low drop count, this card will always be live, unlike many of the other decks. So you'll be only cast this card if you have 10 or less cards in a drop zone. Cast costs 1 gauge and 1 life. Put 3 cards from your drop zone to the bottom of the deck in any order. So basically, this ability is good because it helps you lessen cards in your drop zone so you can use the Gates effect, and you can draw 2 cards instantly. So yeah, pay 1 gauge and 1 life to draw 2 is pretty awesome in this deck, since you'll also be healing a lot in this deck, and life cost is never a problem. So now it's time for defensive spells. We play 4 copies of the Shield of Justice Will Never Shatter. The art of this card is hilarious. I really love this character, and it's pity that she never appeared much in Buddyfight. It's basically just a basic negate. As long you can negate attack as long as it's not a link attack. Really easy because the Tanuki actually has very low defense alongside the dragon. I'm surprised the dragon has only 3k defense, but I guess they can't really make it too broken because it's only a size 2. So yeah, understandable. So counter Nullify attack. It's pretty much a basic negate and it works really well. But my favorite negate in the deck is the Dungeon World one. Gracious Defense Wall is a Guardian card, surprisingly. You may only cast this card during attack during your opponent's turn. Cast cost, pay 1 life, nullify the attack, and you have 5 or less cards in your drop zone, which is pretty much guaranteed. You can charge 1 gauge. So it's pay 1 life, nullify attack, and charge 1 gauge. It's really good because the thing is we actually might need a little bit of gauge in this deck. And 1 life is pretty cheap for this deck because life is never a problem. And also this card allows you to protect center-based monsters, unlike the next negate, which I'm going to go through. The next negate is 3 copies of Heaven's Shield. Heaven's Shield is pretty much the Green Dragon Shield for the Heavens deck. You may only cast this card during attack of your opponent's turn, and if you don't have a monster in the center and you have a Guardians on your field. Probably because the old deck was an open center base deck, but this is a center base deck which you put him in the middle to tank. This guy won't protect this monster, unfortunately, so that's why I only play 3 copies of it. I guess it's okay, it's just there in case you need some extra life. Now we're gonna go through the items and impact. For the items, we play 4 copies of Impartial Cane Fabulous Rod. So this is support for both Executioners and Guardians. Equip costs 1 gauge, activate if you have 5 life or less, or 20 or more cards in your drop zone. Choose a monster on your field and you may rest this card. If you do, for this turn, that card gains double attack. So give your Tanuki double attack or give your Dragon double attack because these cards will really deal the pain to your opponents. Really good card, allows you to play center base deck because of these Soul Guard monsters, which allows you to protect your life points further. Definitely play 4 copies. So finally for the impacts, we play 4 copies of Guardians, Executioners, or worse. So this is the impact used by Guru Bumuku itself. You may only cast this card if your opponent has 5 life or less. Pay 2 gauge. If your flag is Divine Guardians, choose a card on your field, and deal damage equals to the card critical. So most of the time if you're playing Giant Tanuki, I will choose Tanuki because he can easily go up to 4 crits and above. There's instant 4 damage for a 2 gauge impact, so it's really powerful. If you're playing Executioners, deal damage to your opponent equal to the number of cards your attacks this turn. So basically if you're playing a lot of the double attacking monsters and stuff, you can also do a lot of damage because this deck is capable of doing multi attacks. So I hope you guys enjoyed the deck profile on my Divine Guardians deck from Driven to Disorder. So if you guys would like to see more Buddyfight deck profiles, be sure to subscribe to my channel and join the notification squad. And if you enjoyed this deck profile and it helped you in some way, please leave a like on this video. I really appreciate the support you guys have been giving. And also, if you're looking for Buddyfight cards and constructed decks, be sure to check out www.buddy-mart.com. I'll place a link in the description box down below. So thanks for watching guys, peace out and love you guys. Rawr.